Welcome to ABC Bullion's 360 Weekly Wrap. My name is Crystal Thivios and I'm joined once again by our precious metals expert, Global General Manager of ABC Bullion, Nick Frappel.
Hey Crystal.
Hi Nick. So gold seems to have traded narrowly the last week. What else is happening there?
Well, it's difficult to really say beyond narrowly. I mean, the one thing I would say is that we've had support every time it dips down to sort of 1720 something. There seems to be a pretty good support level there.
Yeah.
It doesn't really get very far. But it's good that it is showing signs of support, but there are some headwinds, out there. So the one thing it couldn't get above was the daily standard line, which is now about 1746. I think it should rally up towards that again.
Okay.
It's going to be really interesting to see whether it actually gets across it.
Good. There's quite a bit of positive data coming out of the US in terms of influencing gold, like consumer confidence and the US dollar and a decline in inventories.
Yes.
Are we going to see that at all, hopefully?
Well, it definitely is affecting the dollar. You had that good data, as you mentioned, and basically the dollar index has been pretty firm. In fact, it's kind of slightly gone beyond where I expected it to go in the short term. So the other thing is that if you look at net positioning in the DXY or dollar index, that's turned positive after being fairly seriously short. And the main reason why it's turned positive is because non-commercial longs have kind of flooded in. So that to me is telling you that people are quite confident about the dollar, they're confident about the US economic recovery, and also you're seeing this really, really fairly high yielding US dollar assets versus pretty much everywhere in the world, apart from Australia and South Korea. And that's a good thing for the dollar, the fact that the US dollar yields are kind of really, there's such a big gap between the US dollar yields and pretty much all other 10-year yields.
Awesome.
But it's good, but it's good for the dollar. It might not be so great for gold in the short term. Okay.
And what about silver?
Silver, look, it did weaken, and I think the last couple of weeks we've talked about it weakening and having support at 23.90. It did drop off and then rejected that low quite quickly, which is, I think it was formed on the 25th. Really nice sort of hammer candle on the charts, which suggests that it didn't want to be at that price level. That's good for silver, but it's still kind of lurking below the trend line. I still think the really important support is just below 24 US dollars at the weekly cloud top. The important thing about silver is it's above the weekly cloud, so medium term, still got a bullish configuration, and that's positive.
Great. And finally, for Aussie investors, how is the Aussie dollar?
A little bit sort of in a kind of a weakening part of its longer term uptrend. It's still an up channel. But I think they get the impression that the strengthening effect that we had from the stock dividend payment season, which lasted through sort of maybe end of February through to March, maybe that effect is weakening slightly. And there was some talk about more QE emerging later in the year. The other thing is just a very sort of macro level is that the market's slightly risk off, and risk off tends to sort of disfavor the Aussie dollar. I don't think it's sort of going down very far, but I think 76, 75, 50 are sort of fairly key supports. Okay. And that's what we're seeing at the moment.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nick.
Thank you.
And thank you once again for tuning in. For more from ABC Bullion 360, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on our socials. Until then, happy trading at abcbullion.com.au. Thank you.